Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Dear students, today we will talk about scanning, that again is a skill of reading. It is sometimes termed as a skill and sometimes it is called a sub-skill. Well, as I have already shared with you, reading is a very complex activity of recognizing words and decoding their meanings in order to understand the main idea of a text. The text may be in the form of a book, a newspaper, an article, a journal, a banner, a pamphlet, a fax, or an email. But whatsoever is the type of the text, it is basically your ability to recognize words and the interconnection of words to understand what is said in the sentences. Once you are able to identify that, you move on to the paragraphs, and thus you understand the whole structure and contents of any piece of reading. Reading actually is an essential component throughout education. It enables students to be successful in all areas of the curricula. To comprehend the art of reading, certain skills and strategies are developed that make reading easier. As I've already said, that today we would talk about scanning and we would see how it can be used in different contexts. But before that, I would like to share the review of the previous lesson. In the previous lesson, I introduced skimming as a skill. I talked about what is skimming and shared a few definitions of skimming with you. I also tried to relate skimming to everyday life and explained the difference between skimming and scanning. With this, I moved on to the degrees of skimming and I talked about actually different degrees such as partial or complete skimming. In that session, I also talked about the types of skimming. I shared with you that skimming can be used for an overview, it can be used for a preview, and it can also be used for a review. Towards the end of the session, I shared exercises and activities based on skimming that I hope would have helped you learn how to be more efficient readers by using skimming as a sub-skill. In today's lesson, I would talk about scanning. We would start with what is scanning. With that, I would move on to a few definitions of scanning. We would see important perspectives that the writers or the linguists or the researchers have with reference to the definitions of scanning. Like skimming, I would also relate scanning to everyday life and we would see where do we use scanning in our daily activities. I would reiterate the difference in skimming and scanning by emphasizing on scanning. With this, we will move on to how to scan or steps of scanning. I would take you through steps one by one and share how you can improve your scanning skills. This lesson is also planned like the lesson that was on skimming, so we would also talk about the advantages and disadvantages of scanning in this session. Towards the end of the session, we would have some activities to practice scanning that would help you to be more efficient readers and more effective readers by using scanning as a skill where it is required in your reading activities or practices. So, I would say, if skimming is to run our eye on the text to find the general idea, scanning is to look for a specific piece of information. And my question to you is, what do we scan in our everyday lives? Just look at your life activities. Try to generate a list of 5 to 7 such activities in which some kind of scanning is involved. I hope you would be able to generate a list. But here I am sharing a few examples with you. In our daily lives, we scan when we are finding something in a dictionary, or in a directory, or we scan through a timetable. Sometimes we scan a schedule. Sometimes we scan a book to find a particular date or a number or a name or any particular information that we need. Here I am going to share a few definitions of scanning. The first definition that I am going to share is scanning means reading to find specific information. Please notice, as compared to skimming, where you try to find some general information or general idea about the text that you read, in scanning you look for some specific information. Which means at the outset of reading, before you start reading actually, it is determined, in a way it is predetermined what you are looking for. Something specific, something peculiar, something particular, some piece of information that you need. Keeping that in mind, you scan any piece of reading. So in the case of scanning, actually you have a specific target and you search the text quickly for the information you need. Scanning is a reading skill that is used to locate key or specific information such as dates, numbers, examples, and definitions. Well, scanning involves moving your eyes quickly down the page seeking specific words and phrases. Please notice specific here. So this is where scanning is different from skimming, because in skimming also you move your eye quickly down the page, but in scanning you move it to find out specific words and phrases. Here are a few more definitions of scanning that would add to your clarity about what exactly scanning is and how it is significant in reading skill. Scanning is one of the reading skills you require to locate information quickly in the index of a textbook. So, this definition also tells you one of the possibilities of its uses. You can scan quickly through the index of a textbook to find a particular area or a particular topic that you want to have information on. When scanning, you do not start from the beginning and read to the end. Remember, this is very important for scanning, that you do not start from the beginning and read to the end. Instead, what you do is you jump around in the text trying to find the information you need. So actually it is hopping from one piece or one chunk of information in the text to the other piece of information. You probably already scanned the TV guide, the phone book or the dictionary, but it is possible to improve your scanning skills by using certain techniques. Effective scanning techniques can be useful in any academic setting. And as I have already said in the previous sessions, that for the distant learners, reading is a very, very important skill, especially when it is to be done as independent individual learners. It gathers more significance. In that case, sub-skills like scanning and skimming, or an eye for the paragraph, or ability to expand the horizon of your eye to have a broader span of words, to increase the speed, all these skills or sub-skills enable you to perform better in the academic context. Dear students, typical scanning tasks include searching a text for a particular quotation, someone's name, a particular date or number, or a particular word, or searching a list for a telephone number. आपके घर में जो डायरी होती है जिसमें नंबर्स लिखे हुए होते हैं, you even sometimes scan quickly through your mobile list of the contacts by scrolling it down. Anyhow, you search a list for a telephone number, someone's name, or a particular word or a phrase in any written text. Just to refresh your memory, I would say the difference between skimming and scanning is to be understood. In skimming, the reader goes through a text quickly, not noting every word, but trying to get the main idea of what the text is about. This is sometimes called getting the gist of the text. In comparison and contrast to this, please see what is scanning. Scanning involves searching for a particular piece of information in a text, such as looking for a particular name or a number or a happening or an event. Skimming requires a greater degree of reading and word recognition skills as it involves a more thorough understanding of the text. In comparison and contrast to this, scanning means to find a particular piece of information which can be achieved successfully by relatively poor readers as well. So even if you are not a very efficient reader, scanning is possible for you to be done very easily and efficiently with a little practice. Here is an example of the difference of skimming and scanning. We skim through a report to have rough idea of what it says, but we scan a page of the telephone directory to find a particular name or number. Can you think of one example to explain the difference in skimming and scanning in your daily life context? I would like you to think for a while so that you have clarity on skimming and scanning and the difference between the two. I'm sure you would have thought of some example, but I would like to share another example with you. When you read the weather forecast in a newspaper, you may skim over all the headings until you find the place you are looking for. You then scan the information about that place looking for the information you need, such as heavy rain or cloudy at a particular place in a particular city, etc. The question that comes to our mind is how to scan. Well, there are prescribed ways how to learn scanning materials. When you read for scanning, you have to be aware of the non-verbal signals of a text. I repeat, in the process of scanning, be aware of the non-verbal signals of a text. What I mean by that is that there are different stylistic features in every text that help you scan the document easily, that provide you some information. Different stylistic features such as italics or boldface, photographs, figures, bars and graphs act as useful pointers to a text. So to scan information, use them as pointing fingers that would indicate specific small areas within the text where you may be able to find the information that you need. When scanning, look for the author's use of organizers, such as numbers, letters, steps, or the words. What kind of words? For example, first, second, or next. These words give you the clues to move through the text easily. In the process of scanning, also look for words that are in a different font size, style, or color. Because sometimes a different font size, style, or color help you identify a particular area in the text where you can find answers to the specific questions that you have in mind. Also remember while scanning that sometimes the author will put key ideas in the margin. So you can scan the margin to have the key information that may be of your use. Continuing with more on the techniques of scanning, I would say while scanning, the reader should have a mental picture of what he or she is looking for. I repeat, when you are scanning some document or some article or some essay, what you are supposed to do is that you need to have a mental picture of what you are searching for. So the reader glances swiftly down the page and verifies the information carefully. So basically the mental picture that you have of the query or the question or the basic idea about which you want to have information in your mind, as you glide through the text, as you swiftly move down through the text, your eyes verify the information related to that particular question or particular issue or particular idea. Here are some more scanning tips for you. Know what you are looking for. Knowing what you are looking for is very, very important because it enables you scan efficiently. However, only knowing is not enough. Decide on a few keywords or phrases. What kind of keywords or phrases? That you would use as your search items or your search terms. So basically, you need to have words or phrases in your mind related to your queries or the specific information that you need to have. And as you just scan through the document, you try to identify those words or related words in the text. Well, for those who are beginners at scanning, I think it would be a good idea to look for one keyword at a time. Why? Because it would help you avoid any confusion and it would help you work more efficiently as a reader. However, the more you have the practice, the more you have the ability to look for more than one keywords at a time. If you use multiple keywords, I would advise do multiple scans as well. Let your eyes float rapidly down the page until you find the word or phrase you want. And when your eye catches one of your keywords, read the surrounding material carefully. So what is important is keep on moving your eyes swiftly and rapidly over the page to find or to identify the key words or phrases that are related to the specific information that you need. But the next step related to that is once you identify any such word or linguistic item or phrase that is related to your specific question or query, read the surrounding material carefully, which means read the sentence that carries, that holds that particular word or that particular phrase. Read the sentence that occurs before it or the sentence that follows it, because it may be maybe it would have some information related to your specific needs for which you are doing all that scanning process. Well, I would say a different slide. We have some images on the slide. I have placed it here on the screen just to help you understand that a picture can also be taken as a hint while scanning a text. For example, if you are looking at a newspaper, you can see these signs. You can see, for example, this cloud with the lightning, and it would give you a quick clue where you can get information about weather in the newspaper. From your daily experience of reading newspapers, you would know that in different newspapers at different places the information about weather is provided. So any such sign such as a cloud or a shining sun or rain, these would be indicators for you to scan a particular part of a specified newspaper to get information on weather updates. And very interestingly, in this process of scanning, sometimes you do not need then to go on to the details of that particular area. Why? Because often a picture is there to help you explain the text, and you know that this picture means thunderstorm or a sunny day or rain. So you, for example, cannot go out for cycling, or you have to postpone or delay some of your task or some of your chore. So you do not need to go into the details of, for example, the degrees or the level of rain or the temperature, etc. And only that image is enough for the specific information that you need in that particular context. My dear students, let's ask ourselves, where do we use scanning? Well, scanning is used often with technical, scientific or professional materials to locate specific information. It is very rare that you would use scanning as a skill or as a sub-skill in activities of reading that are more player or layer oriented. Though this is not a hard or fast rule that you cannot use scanning in that case, but I'm talking about the general use of scanning. Scanning is a valuable skill for second language learners to develop because often they do not require a detailed read of a text. I would like you to think of yourselves as the learners of English as a second language or as an international language, and you can identify your scanning ability needs in the context of reading activities that you are supposed to perform. In fact, there are many everyday uses for scanning that are relevant to a particular purpose, such as reading a schedule, for example, for you looking at your examination dates, schedule, etc. Scanning is also useful when you want to find a date, a keyword, a number, or an amount. For example, when you're doing research on screwdrivers, you glance through various books and magazines and stop when you see anything about screwdrivers. You can scan the page by looking down the page for the word in which you are interested. You can also look through the book or magazine for a picture of a screwdriver that would give you a clue which area you need to scan, and then later on which particular area of the text you need to read thoroughly. Scanning helps a lot when it comes to reading. It helps a lot, in fact, when it comes to efficient and effective reading. Scanning is a very important tool when it comes to speed reading as well. You use this technique when you are really in a hurry to find specific information from a text, or when using a dictionary, reading through an index or content list, or browsing through television schedules. Here are some steps for how to perform scanning. Look for keywords or words that are repeated. A trained eye of an efficient reader would quickly catch the words in a text that would be frequently used in that particular text. These repeated words give you specific information about that text. Look for definitions. Look for highlighted words, that is, words that are in bold or italics. Look for numbers such as dates and statistics. It is also good to look for examples, and these examples may include diagrams. Keeping these strategies in mind, you can scan a document very well. As a reader, also keep in mind all times what it is you are searching for. If you hold the image of the word or idea clearly in mind, it is likely to appear more clearly than the surrounding words. What I mean to say is, if you have a word or the image of the word, how it is written in general in your mind, while you are scanning, your eye would automatically catch the image of that word in the text. It is also important that as a reader you anticipate in what form the information is likely to appear, in numbers, in proper nouns, etc. This anticipation helps a lot because then your eye catches those words more quickly. For efficient scanning of a document, analyze the organization of the content before starting to scan. See if material is familiar or fairly brief. You may be able to scan the entire article in a single search. If the material is lengthy or difficult, a preliminary skimming may be necessary to determine what part of the article you want to scan. Continuing further with the steps of scanning, I would say let your eyes run rapidly over several lines of print at a time. Please notice the difference in the technique. When you skim, you need to broaden the span of your eye to capture more than a couple of words in one go while moving your eye on a line. Because the understanding of structure is very important for skimming, That is why moving from one line to the other is crucial in skimming. In contrast to that, when it comes to scanning, move your eyes rapidly over several lines of print at a time. Again, it is a case of broadening the span of your eyes, but this time it is not horizontally, rather vertically as well. So the more part of the text you would be able to cover in one go with your eye, the more efficient you would be in scanning and your speed would increase. When you find the sentence that has the information you seek, read the entire sentence. In scanning, you must be willing to skip over large sections of text without reading or understanding them. Well, this is not the case with skimming, as I have already discussed. As a matter of fact, scanning can be done at 1,500 or more words per minute. So, set some specific needs for yourself in relation to a particular piece of text and check your scanning speed. After some practice, if you check it again, you would see that there is a reasonable difference. Here I am going to give you some practice. For this purpose, the article that I am going to share with you, scan that carefully and then you would be asked to answer some questions that are given at the end. The time for you to read this particular part of the article is 30 seconds only. Here on this slide, in the left side box that is given in green color, you can see that the article is given. Without looking at the questions given on the right side, in 30 seconds, quickly scan the document. Try to find answers for yourself for the questions that are given on the right side. Here are 4 questions. Relate each question to the text and find that specific information that would fit in to answer that question. I hope you would have been able to scan this particular article about Botox that is injected for the purposes to not to sweat. If you are done with the activity, I would like you to move onwards. Here you can see the answers to the questions. In fact, for question number 1 that you had here, what does it do to sweat? It increases sweating, it decreases sweating, or it stops sweating? The answer is C. When it comes to question number 2, what happens to clothes when you use Botox? They get really dirty, they stay very clean, and the option C is they almost disappear. Well, the correct option is B. Moving onwards to question 3, how expensive is the shot? Option A, it costs hundreds. B, it costs a little. Option C, for stars, it's free. Well, the answer is A, that is, it costs hundreds. Look at the last question. What problem is there? It has no problem. It costs too much. It removes face looks. And the option that is correct is option C. You can check your own ability of scanning within those 30 seconds with the correct answers that are given here. Match your answers and see your performance. Well, my dear students, there are a lot of advantages of scanning. Scanning allows the reader to efficiently gather information which may be scattered throughout a long piece of writing. Its second advantage is it encourages the reader to research in a purposeful way and avoid distractions. Since at the outset of skimming you have the purpose in mind, you have the set targets and goals in your mind, it helps you avoid any distractions and it keeps you focused. And scanning, of course, increases your speed of reading as well, because you can do scanning at approximately 1,500 words a minute or even more. As I was discussing skimming, and I said there are two sides of the coin. When there are benefits, there are disadvantages as well. When there are merits, there are demerits as well. Same goes with scanning. Scanning has a lot of advantages, but there are some disadvantages that are also related to the use of scanning, especially when it is used in an inefficient way. Well, scanning can be monotonous, and the technique is not suited for long periods of study, as it is easy to lose concentration. For small extracts for reading, for small chunks of reading, maybe it is more suitable as compared to longer texts with more thickly inserted information. Although scanning is a good way to quickly gather facts, it is not always thorough, and a key fact may be overlooked. So the possibility of skipping something that is very important is always there if you are scanning. The context in which a fact appears may affect its meaning. Yes, I would say this is something very important with relation to the use of scanning. With the help of scanning as a subskill, you may be able to read quickly and speedily to find some specific information. However, in that process, there is some possibility, it is likely that you would not understand the context of that fact as it appears in that particular background or context. Without reading the surrounding text, it is easy to misinterpret a fact's true significance. So I would say beware when you use scanning, that it can be disadvantageous in certain situations. Well, to give you some practice in reading, I have one activity here that would enable you to learn how to scan. First, read the following questions and then use the TV schedule to find the answers. Here, there are 5 questions that are posed for you. Question number 1 is, you are thinking about traveling to the USA for a vacation. Which show should you watch? Question number 2 is, your friend doesn't have a TV but would like to watch a film starring Tom Cruise. Which film should you record on your video? Question number 3 says, which sport can you watch that takes place outside? The 4th question runs as, you like modern art. Which documentary should you watch? And the final question is there a horror film on this evening? So keeping all these 5 questions in mind, I would like you to see the TV schedule that I'm going to share with you. You have to find specific information to answer these questions. Here is the first schedule that I share with you. Stay on this slide for 30 seconds. Try to scan the page quickly, the slide quickly, to see if there is any information that relates to the specific questions that you have. Move on to the next slide. Look at this schedule of another channel. Again, give yourself 30 seconds. This is a very brief information, so not more than 30 seconds for this page. Once you have given yourself 30 seconds, move on. This is the next channel. Quickly glance through the page whether you have some information that is related to your questions. Well, here are the answers to your questions. What I would like you to do is relate the answers that you have to what I have presented here and see whether you are correct or not. For those students who find it difficult to scan through all the schedule because they forget the questions, I would ask them to follow the same technique as I mentioned earlier, that take one point at a time, which means I would like those who find it difficult to go to the first question. You are thinking about traveling to the USA for a vacation. Which show should you watch? So keep only this particular question in mind, skim through all this information about different channels, and then come to the answer. Then you can pick up the second question and you can go through question number 3, 4 and 5 respectively. Once you find that you are able to remember and deal with the scanning of materials related to more than one questions at a time, you can do that later on. Here I have a very quick but a very interesting activity for you. Quickly find out the meanings of the words that are given. Abscission, absorbed, abstruse and abysmal on the given dictionary pages on this and the next slide. Interestingly, the time that you have is 30 seconds only for both the slides, this one and the next one. One clue that I can give to you is that words, since they occur in a specific order, alphabetic order, you can follow that system to quickly scan through. Time yourselves for this and this page on these two pages and find the meanings of these words. Those who have not been able to find the meanings of these words within 30 seconds, I would say try once again. This time maybe you can give yourself 40 seconds. As I said earlier, if in one go you are not able to skim or scan a particular material, you can give yourself more opportunities for that. You can do it twice or thrice for practices. With this, we move on to the third activity that I have here for you. A very interesting activity that is based on some information that is taken from the prospectus of a school. As you look at the prospectus, you can see some pictures or images. You can also notice some headings. You can see particular kind of paragraphing as well. What I want you to do is look at the questions that I have given for you on the next slide. This is where the questions are. And then read both the slides that provide the images of the prospectus. If it is possible for you, take a print of the prospectus, that is both the previous slides, and then scan the prospectus to find the answers to the questions. Otherwise, what you can do is you can write all these questions in your notebook, and then you can go to these pages, these two pages, page 1 of the prospectus and page 2, that would provide you all the information. You can scan those pages here on the screen then quickly to find answers to these questions. Well, in this case, first question for you is, if your child is ill, who should you telephone? Question number 2 is, which school year does this prospectus relate to? Well, if you remember, I said there are certain headings and subheadings in the prospectus. Maybe you can scan through those to find answer to this question. Question number 3 says, who has stated that children shouldn't take holidays during term time? The next question is, children can attend the dentist during school hours. True or false? Question number 5 for you is, can girls wear stud earrings? And the last question related to this particular prospectus is, what color is the school tie? What I would like you to do is to scan the document to find answers to these questions. For your convenience, I have presented the answers here on this slide. Cross-check your answers. On the slide on the left side, the same questions are given, whereas I have provided the answers on the right side. Let's see what are the answers. Question number 1 was, if your child is ill, who should you telephone? The correct answer is school office. Question number 2 is, which school year does this prospectus relate to? The correct answer is 2010-2011. Well, if you look at the scanned image of the prospectus, you would find this information at the very top. Question number 3 stated, who has stated that children shouldn't take holidays during their term time? The correct answer is the Board of Governors. In the same way, when you come to the next question, children can attend the dentist during school hours, true or false? Well, it is false. For question number 5, can girls wear stud earrings? The correct answer is yes. And the final question related to this activity was, what color is the school tie? And the correct answer that you should have scanned through the document is blue and gray. I'm sure many of you would have been able to do it successfully. Some would have done it smoothly, some would have done it with a little difficulty. But I also know that some of you might find it slightly difficult, and I would say that is okay. What you can do is, now that you know the answers of these questions, go back to the slides of the prospectus. Try to see where the answers are provided. For example, if you look here under the heading holidays, you would find the Board of Governors. That was an answer to a particular question. In the same way, about wearing uniform, some information is provided where you can get a specific information. You see here at the very bottom of this page, you would find the sentence, they should wear, that is about the boys, they should wear the blue and grey striped school ties at all times. So the information, blue and grey ties, this is what you would gather from here. So now try to find out that specific information that you have as answers in this document. This would help you learn how to scan. Dear students, with this we are actually moving towards the closing of today's session. Here I have provided a list of references. This is a list of all those references that I have used to make this session's slides for you. Here you would see the names of some very good books, some very important books that are related to communication skills, that are related to academic communication skills, or that are related to reading comprehension, etc. If you can get access to these books, it would be good. If it is possible for you, you can check them in your in any library nearby or online. Especially all the references that you would see that are from net, you can go to these websites, you can see further activities there. I would say on some websites you would find some good online activities for scanning that would help you have some practice. However, I would also like to say a word of caution that in your context, maybe all the texts that you would find online would not be very much relevant. That is why you would not be very much interested in them, or you would find them difficult to understand or relate to your everyday life experiences. So what you can do is, by using all the techniques that I have shared with you through this session, you can skim and scan through the reading materials that are provided to you for different courses, for different subjects that you are studying currently. Before I close today's session, I would like to give you a review of today's session. Today's session was on the skill that is called scanning. I started with what is scanning. I gave you some definitions of scanning that are given by certain linguists, researchers, or writers. I picked up important words from those definitions and explained them. I hope that the discussion that was based around these definitions helped you understand what scanning is. I also tried to relate scanning to our daily lives and shared some examples where we use scanning in our everyday activities. I also asked you to generate a list of activities in your daily life where you use scanning. Have you been able to generate a list of 5 to 7 such activities where you use scanning in your daily life? If at that point in the lecture you were not able to do that, can you do it now? Maybe with a better understanding of scanning and its use in everyday life, now you can do it in a better way. In the next part of my today's session, I moved towards the difference in skimming and scanning. I had already talked about the difference in skimming and scanning in the previous lecture on skimming. However, in that lecture, the focus was on skimming. In today's lecture, I discussed the differences in skimming and scanning with reference to particular focus on scanning. The conclusions that we were able to draw about this particular point were that skimming is the ability to find some general information speedily while looking at a text. In comparison to that, scanning is the ability to quickly move through the text to find a specific information. This also implies that when you are skimming, you do not have predetermined questions in your mind. You do not have specified needs for any particular information. You may have a few general questions in your mind about the material that you are going to read. And through the process of skimming, you try to find answers to those general questions. Overall, skimming gives you a general idea or an overall idea of the text. On the other hand, scanning is used for very specific purposes. It is a very, very focused activity on the part of the reader. When a reader scans, he or she actually looks for a specific information. This implies before you start a scanning activity, actually you have a specific question or a set of specific questions in your mind for which you want to find out answers. Basically, while moving your eye through the text, you quickly try to find out any piece of information that is related to those specific questions or that satisfies those specific queries that you have in your mind. In today's session, I also talked about how to scan. In discussing how to scan, I shared a few tips with you and I talked about different steps that are involved in scanning. One of the major or important aspects of how to scan was that try to have an image in your mind of what you want to find out. In that case, what you do is that you try to relate that image of a particular word or a phrase or a picture that you have in your mind with the text. Wheresoever your eye finds the same kind of image, it immediately catches it or grasps it. Thus, you can scan efficiently and speedily. Discussing other tips of scanning, I talked about a few major points which included try to have an eye for the preface, try to have an eye for the headings, look for the capitalization that is used, also notice the italics and the bold fonts that are used. If at some specific point the color of the text is changed, notice that as well. A good reader, an efficient reader with good scanning abilities would always notice the pictures, diagrams, tables, bars, charts, pie charts, etc. that support any kind of writing. Looking at these, the reader would be able to identify what particular information is available in which particular part of the text. In today's session, I also discussed with you the advantages and disadvantages of scanning. I talked about the disadvantage that because scanning is not an activity in which you move from one part of the sentence or one part of the structure of the text to the other part in a systematic way, rather you keep on hopping or jumping from one part to the other quickly just to identify the required information. In this case, the possibility is, I would say the danger is that you may not be able to catch something very important that is very crucial to the understanding of the text. The second big disadvantage of scanning is that when you scan, actually because you look for those small pieces of information that you carry as images in your mind, the result is that you may not be able to understand the exact meaning that may be different when it is read in the context. So the possibilities of misunderstanding are more in case of scanning as compared to thorough reading. Dear students, in today's session I did some activities with you to give you some practice in scanning as well. However, at the end of today's session I would like to say that skimming or scanning both are actually such language skills that cannot be learned in a small session or that cannot be learned through a couple of activities such as we did today. A lot more practice is required to learn how to skim and scan efficiently. You need to develop a habit of skimming and scanning materials in different contexts. The first thing that you need to decide on that is what are the materials that you would like to skim, and ask yourselves why. In the same way, you need to ask yourselves what materials that you have as a part of your academic reading that you would like to scan. You also need to ask yourself again, why? This why, that is the purpose of that scanning, is very, very important or very, very crucial. Actually, it is with the help of this basic purpose that you decide whether you would skim or scan, or you would use some other skill to decode the text efficiently. To sum up today's lesson, I would say scanning allows you to locate quickly a single fact, date, name or word in a text without trying to read or understand the rest of the piece. However, the precaution for that is that you may lose the essence or the understanding of that word or that piece of text without understanding the context. So be careful when you use this technique. With this, we come to the end of our today's session. I hope it has given you some knowledge on how skimming and scanning can be used in your everyday academic activities. So keep on practicing, you would learn more how to use them more efficiently. You also need to notice that skimming, scanning, telegraphic reading, broader eye span, eye for the paragraph, all these in fact are interrelated or interconnected skills or sub-skills of reading that you cannot separate from each other. The more you learn one of these, the more it supports you or helps you to learn the other sub-skills. The process of learning all these sub-skills until they become your habit may be slightly lengthy, but it is full of benefits and advantages that would really help you in your academic lives. Thank you very much.